everybody. Just a quick and friendly reminder to say to you that often people, when we get in arguments or conflicts or deep opinionated, I'm right, you're wrong, or my side against your side, typically what happens, and this is what all the many teachers share with us, there's a shift in the balance from heart to head. So just seeing yourself at any time, especially if you're arguing with loved ones, because generally it's easier that we have heart and love towards our loved ones, our family, or maybe our friends, or our partner. And whenever we start to go away from the heart, that's when we start to have arguments or sort of thought and mind-based disputes. When you move away from your heart, you're going to feel bad. But when you're in your heart, you won't feel bad. It doesn't matter really what the other person is saying or doing. So, I'm not talking about being a walkover or anything. We can deal with everything much better when we're living in our heart. So let's say a little trivial example, someone doesn't clean the dishes or they leave something. This isn't what's happened to me, but let's say, I'm just using an example for the general. Somebody doesn't do something, or they don't turn up on time, or anything like that. What happens is heart diminishes, and thoughts and thoughts and thoughts, ideas, comparisons, concepts, especially and ideas, they really spring to our mind, and so do assumptions. With this, our heart is gradually closing, and we're being hardened. Our heart is being hardened and closed, and we're starting to be against and irritated with them, irritated with them. One other thing that's essential to point out, and what I want you to remember, as well as myself, is like Eckhart Tolle and so many teachers remind us of, there's this scale also from inner stillness, the mind and thoughts, constant thoughts, emotions. But are you the awareness or inner stillness of any of the thoughts and emotions? This is like such an essential point, because the second you just go, wow, thoughts and emotions just totally overrunning me and taking me over, controlling me. I'm in a thought-based interaction with this person, or it could be a situation. I'm just basically thinking essentially, fundamentally, that the three things that I've mentioned before in previous videos and writings that I've written, that they're wrong, that they're bad. And with this is the third one, basically, is that they shouldn't be like this, or they shouldn't be doing this. They shouldn't be like this or doing this. But again, don't forget, this is all conceptual. These are repetitive thoughts. They're deep-seated feelings, even in our subconscious thought brain, in our subconscious. So, I'm not trying to say sometimes people do things that are really not nice or unacceptable, destructive, or even generally can be devastating. Extreme things like extreme crimes, etc. And I'm not trying to say that they're right, but I'm just trying to say, when we have this deep inner pronounced judgment that they're wrong, bad, and shouldn't be doing that, it's as if we're acting as if we're God. We know everything, and it's like, do we know that there's a universal law, like God or Source or all that is made, that says you can't do this, it's bad and wrong, and you shouldn't do it? So therefore, when you do it, then obviously you are bad, you are wrong, and you shouldn't be doing it. But does this law exist? I'd like to just say, I change it to likes or dislikes or preferences. So obviously I totally don't want mean things like well, any form of abuse or of any kind, from the minor to the more deeper destructive. And I'm totally and utterly not wanting that, and I'm not for it. I do not want that at all. You could say I'm against it. I'm against it. I'm against that and totally, but I'm not inwardly resisting it, and that's what my point is. Inner resistance. Resistance is against the flow of God or source or universe. It totally disempowers and hampers you. It hampers your thinking. It hampers you emotionally. It hampers you energetically. So if somebody does something that we can casually say is terrible and wrong, and maybe, yeah, fine, you think it is terrible, that's okay. But if it makes us feel like wretched and we're disrupted, we generally lose touch with our heart. We generally lose touch with inner stillness, and perspective is in inner stillness. And we act from past, we act from the mind and emotions only with a deep connection and association with our past experiences. Where if we had a traumatic experience in the past, or even if we didn't have a traumatic experience, but we had a reasonably unpleasant experience, we sort of overlay our current experience with our past emotional experience that we didn't like. So we make the current experience much heavier emotionally within us. So this is why I'm trying to remember now. If you're having, let's say, a little dispute with anybody, it could be a shopkeeper who gave you the wrong change and then said, no, you're wrong, I gave you the right amount. We can get so triggered and angry or upset so easily. It's crazy. Not literally crazy, but I'm just saying it's fun, it's quick. So just remember two things. Ask yourself, am I living from my heart or from my mind? And you're much better than able to cope with the situation, and you'll either enjoy it more or you'll have inner peace. Suddenly inner peace will flood over you if you want to act from your heart. And heart means understanding, compassion, sense of tolerance, sense of forgiveness, a sense of renewed care, seeing the person in a different light, sensitivity, and then doing things and saying things feeling totally different, where if possible you're not trying to destroy the other person or hurt them or put them down, like hurt them. You're not trying to hurt them, but you care for them. Now second of all, so that's the first thing, heart or mind. Ask yourself, and ask other people if you want, if you feel that they're losing themselves completely in their thoughts and mind. Second of all, is there any inner stillness or inner space or inner silence within me now? And this is the greatest, I feel. This is bigger than the heart, because this involves the heart and it includes inner stillness and inner silence, inner space. Osho is a fantastic teacher from what I've seen of him. Some call him a guru or a spiritual teacher. From what I've seen, he was extremely wise anyway. And yes, he was what some people could call a spiritual teacher. He helped to share and remind people of this inner space within them, inner silence, inner perspective, inner peace, the awareness. He said, whenever you become aware of your thoughts, thoughts disappear. It can be true, yeah, if you want them to disappear, unless you want to start thinking again, you can still be aware. But yeah, if you're thinking disharmonious thoughts, or even any thoughts, if you so wish, you just simply become aware of them, and then they disappear, like they evaporate. Whenever you become aware of an emotion, it disappears, he says. And And that is actually true. I actually thought yesterday, is this true? Generally it's true. It just evaporates slowly or else quickly. Some people will use words like the light of your consciousness. You shine your consciousness or awareness on something. And then you're going to feel the feelings associated with awareness, stillness, consciousness, which is peace, serenity, harmony, tranquility, and actually love as well, and care and heart and compassion and peace and love. And you're no longer lost in thought, emotional streams, waves crashing down on you, swirling around in you, but you're the big awareness of them. They diminish. And then Osho finally said, when you become aware of awareness itself, it's like the barriers between you and the universe disappear and you feel a sense of oneness. Connection with everything, all. I agree with this too. One little thing that my mind will say, or I will say, how do we know for definite it just doesn't appear? You see, we generally can't say, yeah, this is the boundary or the border where I am here and here, this is me, and everything else is out there. When we're feeling it, when we're feeling the inner awareness, that doesn't seem to be any form or physicality. But although it seems like it's just a universal awareness, like your awareness is no different or separate from that person's awareness or another person's awareness. It's like there's a one universal spirit experiencing itself and everything else through us, but it's all the same awareness. And I know how you can't distinguish, like, this is me, my awareness, and it stops here, it's this big, so it's separate from your awareness. But sometimes things aren't the way they seem. So my little thing is, it's not too important, is it just possible that we are separate beings too? Like separate spirits, but we just also can't have the perception or the feeling of knowing, of feeling where our borders are. I begin and end here. This is my awareness. This is the awareness that I am. It doesn't matter, this isn't really important, so maybe, it wasn't essential for the video. I just threw it in because I wanted to. But remember my other points, okay? Do remember the two things. It'll totally change your life, everybody. It really will. Bring it into your relationship with your closest people, especially. Your closest people you spend the most time with or are most challenged by. Okay, bye.